Have you ever felt like your voice didn't matter until one moment gave you the courage to speak up and change everything? This is my story. My name is Isabella, and at 31 years old, I discovered that silence wasn't safety, it was complicity until I found the strength to confront the truth, reclaim my power, and create a legacy of empowerment. I grew up in a household where obedience was prized above all else. My parents were strict, demanding perfection in every aspect of life. Children should be seen and not heard. My mother often reminded me, her voice sharp and unyielding. As a result, I learned to suppress my thoughts, my feelings, and my dreams. I became the quiet girl, the one who nodded along, avoided conflict, and stayed in the shadows. But deep down, I carried a burning desire to be heard, to make a difference, to leave a mark on the world. When I met Lucas, I thought I had found someone who truly understood me. He was kind, supportive, and seemed genuinely invested in building a future together. We fell in love quickly, and within 2 years, we were married. At first, everything felt perfect. He encouraged me to pursue my passion for writing, and together, we dreamed of creating a life filled with purpose and meaning. But as the years passed, cracks began to show in our relationship. Lucas's ambition often overshadowed his empathy, and his decisions sometimes put our family at risk. I tried to intervene, to remind him of the values we once shared, but he dismissed my concerns. "Isabella," he'd say with a condescending smile, "you're overthinking things. Let me handle it." His words stung, but I told myself he knew best. After all, he was the one everyone trusted. Then, one day, everything changed. Lucas filed for divorce, leaving me devastated. In the weeks that followed, I struggled to process my grief. Friends and family tried to comfort me, but nothing could fill the void he left behind. It wasn't until I began sorting through our finances that I uncovered the truth that shattered everything I thought I knew about him. While reviewing our bank statements, I noticed discrepancies in the accounts. Certain transactions were labeled as miscellaneous expenses, but the amounts were unusually high. Suspicious. I dug deeper and uncovered evidence that Lucas had been hiding money in offshore accounts, effectively cutting me out of our shared assets. It was as if the life we had shared was nothing more than a facade, a carefully constructed lie designed to deceive me. For days, I couldn't function. I felt like I had been robbed not just of my marriage, but of my dignity, my trust, and the life I thought we had built together. How could he do this to me, to us? The betrayal cut deeper than any pain I had ever known. But as the initial shock wore off, anger began to take its place. I realized that Lucas had stolen more than my heart, he had stolen my future. Determined to uncover the full extent of his deception, I hired a private investigator. What they found was even worse than I imagined. Lucas hadn't just hidden money. He had also forged documents to claim sole ownership of properties and investments that should have been ours. His actions had put countless people's jobs and livelihoods at risk. And now, after our separation, the company was facing bankruptcy. I knew I had to act. While I couldn't undo the damage Lucas had caused, I could use the evidence I had gathered to make things right for myself and for others. I filed a lawsuit against him, accusing him of fraud, financial abuse, and manipulation. The case gained media attention, and soon, stories of other women who had suffered at his hands began to surface. One by one, they came forward, sharing their experiences of betrayal, exploitation, and injustice. One of these women was Sarah, a former colleague of Lucas's. She revealed that he had stolen her ideas and sold them to clients without giving her credit or compensation. Another woman, Rachel, described how Lucas had convinced her to co-sign loans, only to disappear when the payments became due. Their stories resonated deeply with me, reminding me of my own struggles with him and the silent suffering I had endured. As the trial unfolded, I watched Lucas's empire crumble. His business partners turned against him. His reputation was destroyed, and he was left with nothing. In the end, the court ruled in my favor, ordering Lucas to pay restitution for the damages he had caused. I used the recovered funds to rebuild my life and start anew. But I didn't stop there. Determined to prevent others from falling victim to similar schemes, I founded an organization dedicated to raising awareness about financial abuse and gender inequality. I called it Speak Up, a name that reflected my journey of reclaiming my voice and empowering others to protect themselves. Through the organization, I provided resources, counseling, and legal assistance to women navigating similar situations. I also launched educational programs to teach financial literacy and self-advocacy, ensuring that women had the tools they needed to thrive independently. One of the women I helped was Emily, a single mother whose ex-husband had drained their joint savings account, leaving her and her children homeless. When she came to us, she was broken and hopeless, unsure of how to rebuild her life. Together, we worked to secure housing, file legal claims against her ex-husband, and create a plan for financial independence. Watching her regain her confidence and take control of her future reminded me of my own journey and the strength I had discovered within myself. And another woman, Lisa, shared a story eerily similar to mine. Her husband had also hidden assets during their divorce, leaving her financially destitute. When she learned the truth, she felt like her world had collapsed. But through Speak Up, she found a community of women who understood her pain and offered support. Together, we helped her navigate the legal system, recover her stolen assets, and start anew. As the organization grew, so did my sense of purpose. I realized that Lucas's betrayal, while devastating, had given me a gift, the opportunity to help others heal and rebuild their lives. By turning my pain into action, I was able to honor the parts of my relationship with him that mattered most. The lessons I learned about resilience, forgiveness, and the importance of standing up for what's right. But building Speak Up wasn't without its challenges. There were moments when I questioned whether I was strong enough to carry the weight of so many stories, so much pain. There were times when the memories of Lucas's lies threatened to overwhelm me, pulling me back into the darkness. But I reminded myself of why I started this journey: to create a better future, not just for myself, but for others. Through the women I met, I discovered something profound. Healing isn't a linear process. It's messy, unpredictable, and often painful. But it's also transformative. By sharing our stories, supporting one another, and taking steps toward change, we can reclaim our power and rewrite our narratives. That realization became the foundation of Speak Up, not just as an organization, but as a movement. Looking back, I realized that Lucas didn't just leave me a legacy of pain, he gave me the tools to transform it into something meaningful. His actions forced me to confront truths I might otherwise have avoided, pushing me to grow in ways I never imagined. And while I'll never fully understand why he chose to live the way he did, I've come to accept that his choices don't define me. Instead, they've shaped me into the person I am today, stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever to make a difference. Through Speak Up, I've learned that power isn't about control or revenge, it's about creating opportunities for others to thrive. It's about using your pain to fuel positive change, to lift others up when they feel like they can't stand on their own. And it's about recognizing that, no matter how broken you feel, you have the ability to rebuild not just your life, but the lives of those around you. If you're watching this and feeling silenced, remember, your voice matters. You have the power to turn it into purpose, to create something beautiful out of something broken. If this story resonates with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Subscribe for more inspiring stories, and let's rewrite our legacies together.